Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for a purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. For uses of use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now let's start this dang show.
You gonna have any fights this week? Oh man, we gotta have some fights.
That show up in practice that are not good, and the things that are positive, they showed up here tonight.
Oh yeah! What is up, Jeff? How you doing?
Good, and you? How you doing?
I'm doing good because there was a Raider game. There was a Raider game last Thursday, and there's a Raider game tomorrow night. So it's not regular season football, but it's Raider football though. So oh yeah. And then also to talk about the defense. Breaking news: the D tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he signed a 1-year, $30 million deal. Does that necessarily mean that he's set to play one more year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or could he still be traded? I don't know, but percentage went down that we can get him.
Okay,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet.
Welcome to another Wednesday cage match. Jeff is in again for Asylum. Asylum is still out. This time.
Now he's a philosophizer.
Wrong one. This time, he is just happy that Raider football is back. Oh yeah. From his adventures out there in wherever land, he's just happy that
7 Army Ranger extraordinaire out there doing God's work. The typical wrestling
I want to shout out.
That's unknown as we speak.
So we want to shout out Asylum. Jeff is here, stepping in for Asylum for the time being. So, what did you think of the game?
Real quick, I'm trying to pay homage to Asylum using the green screen background without a real green screen, so I keep disappearing into the screen like he does. So.
He actually does have a green. He actually does have a green screen, but it's just I sent him a light so it could illuminate him more. But then I guess the light burnt out or whatever it was, and so he just uses what I don't know. but it's the same effect. He just disappears into the abyss of the green screen. So, because Jeff is here, his theme song has to come on and play. Because whatever. Just wait until we're gonna get this draft going.
Oh yeah.
On the 30th. I'm just joking. I'll set that up soon. It'll be right after the last game against the Raiders and Niners in the preseason. Season, whatever. All right. Let's get into the show. Now, we did have a game. It was a preseason game. We lost by about 2 scores. But it's not about the score itself. It's about the individual efforts of the players that are trying to make this team. But it's still a team game. Football is. Jeff, looking at these numbers, I mean, total yards, 368 to 317, going in favor of the Cardinals. Passing yards, we were up by 2 yards, 214 to 212. Rushing yards, they had us 156 to 103. Sacks allowed, it was even 2. Penalties, they had 4 for 25. We had 8 for 75. Looking at these, well, actually, let's start like this. Watching the game, what did you think of the Raiders' performance on their first preseason game of the 2026 season? I feel very redundant today. It's probably because I didn't really sleep that well. But those are the game stats of the game. What was your take watching the game last Thursday? Overall.
Overall, good and bad. So it was kind of like a 50-50 game. First string, the first series looked great because Kirk Cousins, marched them right down the field, got the score. Everybody on that first team offense looked pretty damn good. Mendoza, when he came out, was still running with the twos. He still looked okay out there. I mean, he had a couple of really, really impressive throws into heavy coverage, and he was able to zip the ball in there. After that, it was kind of mediocre the rest of the way. My biggest worry, in all honesty, was the front line on the defense, and I said basically our defense overall. They just didn't look good from start to finish, not at all. And here I was touting that they would have that we're poised to have a really good defense. When you look at what we brought in, on paper we look like we were going to have a killer defense, but in reality, we got some serious weaknesses now.
Yeah, you saw a lot of young guys in the secondary. Some like what am I forgetting his name? The one that hasn't played since January 2025.
McCoy
had a couple. I mean, they stood out. The few plays that he allowed, they stood out because one was a score. I believe that was with Marvin Harrison Jr. in the back of the end zone or the corner of the end zone, where he had to try to reach. He followed him all the way, but then I don't know how but he had a lot of rust on. A lot of the other guys, like the secondary, was just allowing a lot of completions. So that's why I said Gardner Minshew was the MVP of that game. Gardner Minshew was their preseason MVP. Him and Brissett, they had like a whole streak of like where they out of the two of them, there was only one incompletion. And I think from Brissett to Minshew, I think So, I mean, and then you didn't really have everyone playing. Of course, Max Crosby didn't play at all in this game. They're holding him on the side, in a cage to make sure, whatever. But yeah, I mean, the defense allowed the Cardinals offense to go downfield, to convert third downs. Let me see. Let me go back to the stats. What is a third down efficiency? 8 of 15, 7 of 14. That's pretty close. 1 of 1 on 4th down. We were 1 of 3. Yeah, whatever. I was trying to prove a point. Whatever.
But even
But
the stat underneath that number of plays, I mean, they were 10 up on plays with us, 12 actually.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's I don't have a problem with Max sitting, you know, because even while he wasn't in there, Kuntz was getting those first team snaps, and Kuntz was actually getting some penetration. So you saw some good stuff from Kuntz out there, which I was impressed with. Defensive tackles, everybody was all excited that Tonka, I was too, that Tonka was going to get the stop, blah, blah, blah. He didn't do too good. You know, the lone spot on our defense was Walker and the Kobe Dean. You know, Walker had some great stops at the line against Love. Teron Johnson had a great stop on Love in the open field by himself. If he didn't hold him back, that was 6 all day. I mean, he would have juked and jived his way to that end zone. Our corners wouldn't have got him. You know.
yeah. And I believe I heard you say on one of your shows after the fact. Well, actually, I think you even said it before the game. You said, "Okay, remember, guys, the Cardinals have an extra week of practice. They started training camp earlier. They had the extra week with the Hall of Fame game, so they're a little bit more ahead of the game. You know, like the Raiders, this is like the first time going against other guys besides themselves, where this is the second game for the Cardinals. So of course they're going to be a little bit more above or a little bit more, over the curve, above the curve, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then and then you got Brissett, a veteran, and Minshew, a veteran, going against this young secondary. So, you know, I don't want to sound like the optimistic. Well, you know, it's just the first game, and these guys just got to shake the little rust off of it. You know, they're gonna do very great. They're gonna do great. They're gonna do great. But you know, they also said that it was very vanilla because they're gonna play the Cardinals later on in the season. They don't want to show any exotic coverages or any kind of blitz, whatever packages, whatever. So this is a very bland defense, but on a very bland defense, I mean, you still got to cover, you still got to tackle, you still got to do the fundamental things.
I was gonna say fundamentals. Yep.
Yeah. So it was. Yeah, the defense was. See how I cracked my voice? The defense was on the. We'll see what happens tomorrow, I guess, on a much more aligned team as you know with the Texans. I know they're not going to be playing a lot of their starters tomorrow, especially after the injury with their second receiver. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. But the offensive side, Kirk Cousins, you know, he had like that one. There was the one bad. Oh, it was like one pass. He was trying to hit somebody. I can't remember. It was like, but I think he. Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying to remember.
I thought he was 5 for 5. Oh no, he's 5 for 6. Okay.
Yeah, it was one. He had like one miss, one incompletion, but he was going down the field. He was controlling the offense, which I miss a Raider quarterback doing, controlling the offense, and that's what this variation of the West Coast offense, you know, where a lot of the short pass is like the run, you know, like the run game, you know, a little short, you know, and get them into open space and have them take off. But Kirk Cousins in the preseason, you know, he looked in command with this offense. On that one drive, he got down the field. Michael Mayer got his touchdown, the first, the Raiders' first score of the game. What did you think of Kirk Cousins' performance just in that one series? What did you think of Kirk Cousins and his command of the offense?
In all honesty, I think he did exactly what I was expecting him to do, to go out there, command the offense. I mean, he's done it enough. You know, he's done it in this system before, so you can see the difference between him out there versus like Mendoza. You know, Kirk Cousins has the poise. He's in the command of that offense. He didn't get rattled back there. He really didn't have to scramble or run. I mean, he was pretty much on target. You know, he had one errant pass. Other than that, I mean, they moved that team smooth down the field, you know. And think about it. And that's without Brock Bowers out there. Brock was out there for like the first 2 plays, and then he was on the bench the rest of the game. Michael Mayer put in some work on that drive, and it was nice to see him heavily involved too. We finally seeing, what we've been wanting to see from Michael Mayer all these years that he's been with us. I'm expecting big things from him and Betch too. Betch had a great game. Wasn't expecting that from him. So 3 for 25, a TD. The kid played. The kid's making a name for himself. Unlike our other draft pick from last year.
Hey, I don't even think he dressed up. Thornton.
No, he didn't.
Jr. He did not dress up.
No, he's been injured. And he's still not dressed. Oh, I think he was dressed today, they said, but he was off on the side running special teams drills.
Yeah,
but that's just it. The kid's out there running special teams drills. That's how he's trying to make his bones on this team now. Is he's relegated to special teams. I'm telling you, I don't think he makes the 53. I really don't. What's up, Dixon?
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make it because once again, the best ability is availability, and his ability right now is really just going deep. So his ability isn't really abled enough for this team. So yeah, if he gets and I want Thornton to succeed. I want him to succeed. I feel like if he can do if I don't know. I just when we talked to when me and Asylum talked to Demon King, he said he's a good receiver. He's just still raw. He has to learn the route tree, but his rookie year last year was the year that we all want to forget. So, but you come into this year, fresh new start. Oh, you did a full Asylum. You just he disappeared into the.
I put my hand up. But that cleaned something off my monitor. Ooh.
I had that graphic too, but yeah, I want Thornton to succeed, but if we're gonna have better guys like a Malik Benson showing up and taking a spot, I want the best 53 out there. From that 53, I want the best 11 out there. So hey, it happens. If you can't improve each year, you're not going to be in this league that long. I was trying to find a graphic of him and Besh's stats last year. I did have it up, and I think I took it down. But there it is, right there. It's loading. But yeah, so there he goes. So both of them are kind of like under the microscope. But Besh, like you said, Besh showed up, and Besh kind of seemed like, and I can't take credit for this, but the next Renfro, third and Besh. This was actually from Paul Gutierrez on Twitter, so I can't take credit for that. I'm not going to take credit for that. But Jack Besh, he got that one touchdown from Fernando Mendoza. What did you think of Fernando Mendoza's performance also when he came in? I know when he came in that first series, you could tell he was antsy. Of course, you're a rookie. This is your first NFL snaps, going against live bullets. But he seemed to have calmed down when he came back out there in that second drive. He seemed to have calmed down, which they said in practice, like once he kind of like understands the mistake he did or understands, okay, let me fix that he can correct things really fast. And that second series, he showed a little bit more command, a little bit more, he's a little bit more calm in that second series. What did you think of Fernando Mendoza, his performance in this game?
I did like what I see, or what I saw. I wasn't on the Mendoza train to begin with, but I'm got to support the kid. I want to see him succeed. I don't want him to fail. He fails, we fail. So, again, there's going to be growing pains. He is a rookie. He's coming into a team with a completely different style of play calling that he didn't have in Indiana. What was it today? I think I watched somebody talk about it. Oh, I think it was Q and Lincoln Kennedy were talking about it today. He took 10 snaps alone today from under center during the practice. He'd only taken, they said it was 5 during the entire season last year. So in one scrimmage today, one practice today, he took 10 snaps on the center, doubled what he did in the entire college year last year. So that's going to take time for him to get used to playing in that. But they said even some of the snaps today, he was running into the running back as he was coming out. Luckily, he didn't see that in the game. He wasn't doing that in game. He's doing it in practice or in a scrim. That's fine. Do that shit there, not in the game. He definitely had jitters. I mean, I'd expect that. You're a first-time NFL player, and you're going out there for the very first time. The crowd noise, being in your home stadium, you want to be good. You want to put on a show for everybody. So, yeah, the nerves are there. And I thought he played admirably, for what was after him,
Do you think that him being the number 1 overall draft pick was in the back of his mind? Like, I got to go out there and make sure. Like, do you think, I know we can't be in his head and whatever, but like you said, the crowd noise, the excitement, the jitters, the adrenaline overflowing, human nature, like you're going to be all amped up because you're going out there, your first game since the championship game when he beat Miami. So this is like live action again, but you're in the NFL now. So all these thoughts going through your head: first overall pick, first NFL game, back in action after like what, 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
Like that has to all be in the back of his mind. But it seemed like when that second drive, he kind of like calmed everything down. He slowed everything down. I know he took a sack. Oh, well, he had that one where he tried to run. He tried to tick off, and he got hit in the chest. But he got it real quick. He even said, "Okay, good job, whatever." He even clapped his hands. Okay, that's a good hit. But I did like his decisions. Huh?
Yeah, I think Q talked about that today too. He's like, he decided he was going to take off and run, and as soon as he decided to take off and run, he realized last minute how fast that defense closed in on him, and he was like, "Oh," you can kind of see him kind of stop at that moment because it was like, "Oh crap, they're already here." I just know how I would be in that situation. You're coming in as the number 1 pick. The pressure of the world is on you. Raider Nation's behind you for the most part. Probably about 75%, I would say, to be fair. 80% are behind him. So a lot of that's weighing on your shoulders. You're the number 1 pick. You want to do good. You want to come out there and put on a show for the fans of this team. You want to impress the organization. You want the owner to be happy with what they're seeing out there. And I'm sure he's fully aware of Raider Nation with our first round draft picks at quarterback. Like I'm sure he looked into the whole situation with Jamarcus Russell and said, "I don't want to be that guy." So he's putting in the extra work. He's showing the effort, which is what you expect. I mean, if you're picked number 1 overall, you come with extra pressure that a guy like Ty Simpson, picked at number 16, doesn't have. Ty Simpson doesn't have the pressure of the world on him coming in there as a first round pick at number 16, because he's coming in with no expectations. They're not looking for him to start right away. Mendoza, the fans of this team are looking for him to start as soon as possible. So fans are always going to be pushing it. Let's get him out there. Let's get him out there. As soon as Kirk throws 2 interceptions in the game, that's the first thing they're going to say. We should stop Mendoza. Well, right now, based on this offensive line, until I see it completely gel together and put some consistent games together, I wouldn't trust him. Not trust him. I wouldn't trust him not getting beat up back there, to be honest with you. Because I'm worried about this offensive line right now. And it has nothing to do with the coaching. It's just the talent. I'm still not solidified with that offensive line yet. But I thought the kid played well. For a rookie coming into such a Kubiak's system is not an easy system. There's a lot of verbiage to it. It's he doesn't have the type of team he had when he was in Indiana. He has to realize that he just can't dump it off easily. There's more to this than it was in college. Yeah,
and that's one thing he said in one of his pressers after the game is that Tom Brady told them, doesn't matter how good you were in high school, how good you were in college, coming up to the NFL level, like this is a whole nother, like this is like a Men in Black, the best of the best of the best, sir. So with honors. So That's another thing that the rookies, when they come into these games, it's like, yeah, you might have been great going against, the teams you went to in college with these players in college, but now the best of each player from each team that you played is now on this next level. So you're going against an all-star team. Every NFL team is an all-star team, and
Yeah.
and I hope, because I remember you said, like, if Kirk Cousins was to throw 2 interceptions and then the whole stadium. I remember in Oakland, when Jamarcus Russell, no, it was his rookie year, and he finally signed, like, with like 4 games left in the season, and in that season you had McCown started. Then after McCown, the Raiders brought in Culpepper. And there was another quarterback that was there too, because Culpepper didn't do nothing. He was garbage, because he came off of like that shoulder. No, he came off of he had a knee. He He came out with that knee. He didn't run like he did when he was in Minnesota. He didn't do any of that when he became a Raider. So when there's other quarterbacks that didn't do so well, and Jamarcus Russell was finally on the roster, he finally signed his rookie deal. I remember the stadium would cheer. They wanted him in there. They were like, Russell, Russell, Russell. And that's what I hope doesn't happen, because Kurt might have a game where he had, I hope it doesn't have games like Geno Smith last year, but there could be a time where one defense just might be on him and he throws like 2 interceptions or whatever. And I hope that the fans don't start cheering for Mendoza already, because I'm just not as good as, or as promising as Mendoza showed in this this one game, the few series he played. You can tell that he still needs to understand more of the NFL speed. The one thing I did like, though, was when he tried to like take off running and he realized he wasn't going to go anywhere. Instead of taking a sack, he threw the ball away. He did that twice in the game, which is something that some veterans forget to do. So for him knowing that real quick let me just throw it away. So you don't get the sack, you don't lose the yards, you don't lose the time. You just, the play is dead right there. Start again on the line of scrimmage, whatever. So those were things that I noticed that he made sure he did, was to throw the ball away when he saw nothing. But yeah, I mean, he looked promising, and the one play that I liked, not because it was a touchdown, but the fact that the touchdown to Besh, when he went back to pass, it was a quick shot. Besh, I think he was in the slot on the left side, and he came across, and it was like right when he got right in between the 2 defenders, the ball was right in his hand, which is Mendoza anticipated his route to meet at the point, when he turned his head, which a lot of quarterbacks we had in the past, and I would say Derek Carr post injury, where they would wait for the receiver to turn around and look when they would try to throw the ball, and then at that point, the defender's already there. It's either going to be a batted down pass or it's going to be an interception. Mendoza is anticipating the break. So right when the receiver's turning around, that window, that ball's already through that closing window into the receiver's hand. So that's one thing I did like, is what he's doing, is he's anticipating the route. So, and he seems to be, a little gunslinger, with the, anticipating those routes. So that was one thing that I did notice that I did like. I said, okay, and I wasn't different at them drafting Mendoza. I'm like, okay, whatever. If you guys know what you're doing, then I'm gonna trust you. You're not gonna ask me what I feel, so I'm just gonna sit back and hope that everything works out. But when I saw that, I said, okay, I see you. So hey, we might have something. He might have something.
It's just a matter of when they want to get him in there. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Do I think he's ready to start week 1? Not yet. Not yet.
No.
I think a lot of people feel that way. You know, why would we put him out there now? You're going to kill the kid's confidence, I think, right now. Just let him keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah. But, I mean, when he does come in, hold on, I was trying to get something up here. When he does come in, I want him to have this kind of confidence.
Hey! Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
I want to have that Bill Murray confidence coming in like a spaceship. Where he comes in, I was born for this. So, yeah, I mean, rookie, you know, I think they're going to have him. I think the plan is to have him play even more in this following game. I know that the joint practices, the Raiders going against a top defense from last year, that it didn't go all that great. But from what I also heard, it wasn't that bad as some people would try to report it was. It was just the Raiders defense or the Raiders team that's now rebuilding, going against a playoff defensive unit. Of course you're going to have, a rough time on the offense, but that they were able to hold their own for what they have. And that, I guess that sounds promising, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, it didn't sound too good, to be honest with you. I mean, it did sound a little rough. Kirk and Mendoza both threw interceptions. The running game seemed like it was kind of stuck in the mud. At least Genty was. Washington had a few good runs from what I understand. Defense didn't look too hot. And again, that's against a Houston offense that's not that great either. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this game tomorrow night when, if Houston puts out all their ones on defense. I mean, we all know how damn good that defense is, and then they got better in the draft. They bring in McDonald. How much of an impact is he going to have in this game? I was talking about this last night that, he's the guy that most of us Raider fans wanted in the second round. And then we get Stooks. So I'm like, if this son of a bitch lights up this season or this game tomorrow night, let alone the season against us, it's going to, and Stooks does nothing. It's like, okay. Because you see now where our blaring weakness is, and it's on the defensive tackles and how much of an impact this guy could have had for us, and now we're going to go against them this week. Granted, I know it's preseason, but still, what he could have done in helping this frontline defense possibly.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to this Cardinal game. Let's look at the rushing. Mike Washington Jr. He showed a lot. Once after that first series, and Mike Washington was basically the lead backer. He had the majority of the carries during that time with Mendoza. 6 carries, 63 yards, average of 10.5, with a long of 53 when he broke out to the left side, and he ended up getting caught. But the fact that he's hard to tackle, which is a good thing. Ashton Genty will get hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But when he was, when he got his force, he was hard to tackle. Then you see Mike Washington, he's hard to tackle. You can have 2 running backs that are hard to tackle. We can control this offense. This game with our offense, and not have to do it, and not have to have our defense out there, because we would run out the clock with the running game. Just old smash mouth football, and then win 7-6. Undefeated, 17-0.
7-6 games. It might be more like 6-3, because I don't know if I trust our kickers, but That run by Washington was a thing of beauty, and not so much just his physical attributes as he was running the ball, the blocks. The blocks, starting with Connor Haywood, threw a beautiful block to set that up to start with. Then you had, I think it was Buford was still, no, it wasn't Buford. Who was on the left side at that point? Might have been Rogers. I don't know. Meredith was at center. So they split that, they split the two defensive tackles, and then Betch threw that beautiful block once he broke through, past the first line or the front line. That was a beautiful block by Betch, and then that's it. And the only reason they got caught is the defender had a perfect angle on him. That guy had that angle from the get-go. If he didn't have that angle, that was a touchdown run all day long. So I mean,
it was a strong arm tackle.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But it was a great play. Everybody did their assignment and they did it well. And Connor Haywood's someone that's everybody's kind of sleeping on. Having that fullback back there makes a big difference. In Kubiak's system. I think we're going to see a lot of running. We have to see a lot of running because we still don't know what we have at wide receiver. To be honest with you, this is going to be a run first team. It has to be.
Without the long run, Washington is 5 carries for 10 yards.
Still a 5 yard per carry average, right? No,
that's a 2. No, that's a 2 yard.
That's a 2 and change.
Charles Grant had the block. Kubiak expects wide receivers to block. I like that. And Besh is in the middle, so he's a bigger guy. And yeah, him leading, or up there in those blocking like a cornerback, cornerback safety, whatever, to try to have Washington break free. And that play, like you mentioned, that he had the good angle, but I think Washington was trying to cut back in, and the defender had an arm on him. He was just strong enough to hold on to Washington to bring him down. So it was a strong arm tackle, but if he didn't have that, he would have broke off of that tackle too. He would have scored. So, I mean, these young rookies, like it's preseason. But there's some flashes. I don't know if that's hope talking, if that's me praying that, we're going to look good this year.
Well, Betch was kind of known for that last year. His blocking ability was pretty decent last year. It's gotten better this year, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's going to have a lot to do with how good he is this year too. Everybody's like, oh, receivers can't catch the ball. I mean, they do more than just catch the ball. They are valuable in other situations, and blocking in this system is going to be one of the huge contributions he's going to be able to make.
And it was crazy because I think I heard that in practice, Besh wasn't really getting the ball thrown to him, but then in this game, he was like one of the main targets. In crucial plays to continue the drive, and then he ended up getting that touchdown from Mendoza. So he's trying to show like, hey, last year was last year. None of us had a shot. This year I'm gonna show out. And Besh is another guy that I know if he gets his chance, he's gonna show out. Especially being like an elite slot guy, big body, can go in there and catch balls like in between linebackers and that middle of the defense, because they were throwing him some I don't want to say crazy passes, but he was able to snag some from a couple of defenders to for the completion. So I mean, if the Raiders can put all this together, they could be a force in the West. I feel like the West is weak enough for the Raiders to make some noise. But let's go into the receivers. Speaking of the receivers, these are all the receivers that had receptions. E.J. Williams, 1 of 41. Malik Benson, 2 of 26. Of course, Jack Besh, we just showed, 3 of 25. He had with the touchdown. Trey Tucker in the first series, he had 2 for 21. Michael Mayer had 2 for 19 with the touchdown. So, receivers, a lot of these guys are not going to make it. But, you see like Cedric Jackson, and I think he got injured, didn't he? Or he's like nursing an injury right now. I think a foot. I think he has a foot. But he had the 1 for 19. That was probably towards the end of the game. Brandon Johnson 1 for 14. Dylan Labe out the backfield 1 for 14. So you're looking at probably your starter, or the guys making a Trey Tucker. I see that whatchamacallit, Neighbors is not on this list. He either wasn't playing or didn't receive a catch. But Trey Tucker, Jack Besh, I would assume would make it, of course. But a lot of these guys are hopefuls. I don't see not Neighbors. Nair, you know the guy I'm talking about, the receiver, the other receiver. Our number one.
Naylor?
The guy from Minnesota.
Yeah, Naylor.
Neighbors. Naylor.
Yep, Malik Neighbors. I'm like, he's not on our team. I wish he was.
My bad. Neighbor. We're not the Giants.
Yeah. I would gladly take him.
My bad. I'm like, I knew when I said it, I'm like, that didn't sound right. I'm still trying to learn this team.
There's a lot of new wings on this team. That's the other thing people are going to realize. This is a lot of newness this year. There's a lot of new stuff. You know?
Yes, Naylor. Yes, the Naylor. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to figure out all these guys' names. This is why I stopped following the A's. Okay, this is why I stopped following the A's, because every year it's a whole new squad. I'm like, I can't do this no more. All these new people I got to figure out. And every time the A's got good players, they trade them away for more prospects. I whatever. But
Billy Bean ball up there.
Yeah, I don't even know if Billy Bean's still the GM, but they're still doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, I don't think he is.
I want to see when the A's move to Vegas officially. I want to see the dirt infield in Allegiant Stadium for one season. Have the A's play in Allegiant Stadium. It's not going to happen. It's too.
No, they're not going to rip up that green, beautiful grass. Are you kidding me? What's the matter with you?
I want to see it one time, Kay. I want to see maybe the Tokyo Toe can kick it off a second base, Kay. I don't know. Maybe.
No, I don't know about that one, but I don't think that guy could kick it from the home plate, let alone freaking. I have no faith in that kid.
The Tokyo Toe. Maybe he left his foot in customs. Oh no. Anyways, Andrew Dice Clay. So Malik Benson, the talk of the training camp, in his first game against an opposing team, 2 receptions, 26 yards, average of 13, along of 19. So two receptions from 4 targets. In the kicking game, as a kick returner, he had 1 for 21 yards. I mean, Malik Benson didn't really show too much in this game, but he has been the talk of training camp. What did you think of? I mean, the stats don't really show too much, but I don't know. How did you think Malik Benson showed out in this game?
I think he did all right. Again, I mean, it's not going to take much for some of these younger wide receivers to really make a good showing out there, because the competition at in the wide receiver room isn't that hot. You know, you've got Trey Tucker, who's obviously going to be a shoo-in for a starting spot. Jalen Nail is going to be the other, and right now it's Betch. You know, so Malik Benson, he's going to be the next man up. You know, Thornton's falling down the depth chart probably. You know, I think Malik Benson is definitely making this roster. I don't think there's any two ways about it. You know, just his kick return ability. I don't like the fact that, you know, he has such a bright future as a receiver, I really don't want to see him out there returning kicks. I mean, he took a shot in that game. Did you see that hit he took on that return? He got turned into a rag doll. You know, that's what you don't want to see happen to someone that's, a promising star. Like you don't want to see Mike Washington out there returning kicks. Really don't want to see Genti out there for that reason too. I don't want these guys to get beat up returning kicks. I want them when the offense is on the field, not when the return special teams are out there. No, I don't like that.
Yeah, and I know they're going for the speed because that's the same reason probably why they had Trey Tucker back there a lot and punt returns and everything for the speed. But when that's like that's your starter, you're starting, and we can go all the way back to what Tim Brown did it when he came out of Notre Dame. Tim Brown wasn't the starter yet. He had I think his first return, punt return, kickoff or punt return. First time he touched the ball as a Raider, he ran it back for a touchdown. But then he ended up hurting his knee. Was out for that his second year, I think. And then he came back and found his way to be the star receiver for a long time, and they didn't use him. They just strictly kept him at receiver up until when he started taking back punts later in his career. That first one against the Chiefs, my favorite Tim Brown moment, my favorite Tim Brown highlight. But special teams, these young receivers who we hope will show, will be like important factors in the offense to put him back there at punt return, more so punt return than kickoff return because the kickoff rules are different now, the whole thing. But punt return, like once you catch that ball, if that guy times it right, where it's not not a flag, you get yourself knocked out of the game. So, I understand and I agree with you on that. But I don't know if that's a way for these young receivers to and I'm not saying that he's trying to fight for a roster spot. I believe he's solidified for the 2026 roster. But, a lot of these coaches, they want these receivers, especially the young receivers, to be versatile, to take back kickoffs, to take back punts, or be a gunner or whatever. So they got to make a lot of their dues on the special teams. But yeah, I mean, like, have Dylan Lobby go back there and return a punt. Your third string, fourth string running back. Or who else is our receivers? One of those like guys you're never gonna see on the field, but he's just a good gunner. Or whatever is a fast guy. Have him be the specialist on that. Don't put your future weapons.
Although Thornton's out there running as a gunner, so. Which I find hilarious. The guy's built like a toothpick, and you got him running down the field in the gunner position. The guy's gonna shatter every one of his bones when he tries to tackle somebody. Hits him full speed, full force. His bones are gonna turn to dust, poof, and it's just gonna be a pile of goo on the field.
He's gonna turn into twigs. It's not gonna look pretty. I mean, he's injured now.
On the field, he's just going to be a meat sack on the ground.
Malik Benson, I feel like he could be a good, because you got Naylor's 1, Trey Tucker's 2, Besh can interchange with Benson depending on what the play is, depending on what the situation is. But I feel that your third receiver is probably going to be your second tight end, Michael Mayer. For the most part, running that 12 formation, 12 personnel formation. So I don't know. I don't want to. That hit that Benson took, and he popped up right away. And then like the next play, Mendoza threw it to him, and he got like a first down. But it's like that's just one hit. But have him take that hit constantly, in games through the season, whatever.
You know damn well when he got in the
constant-
locker room later on, he was like, "Oh, god damn, that hurts." I mean, come on. I mean, I got a lot of meat on my bones. I know I'd be like, "God damn it, that hurt," quietly.
Yeah.
You just don't want him taking those shots over and over. I agree.
Oh.
That's not good.
Yeah. How about a defender, like a defensive back? Like Charles Woodson back in the day when he tried to return. Well, not try because he was with Michigan. He was doing
He
everything.
could do it.
But yeah. You get a DB back there. Like Darian, was it Darian Gordon back in the day when he did it for the Broncos and he came to the Raiders and it was,
Yeah.
You did your best.
Yeah.
You did
Thanks
your best.
for playing. Bye-bye.
They're not that good at being a defensive back. I don't know. These receivers are trash. Spy could have chosen to address it, but didn't. Onto the draft. The receiving room is suspect. I mean, last year we could have had Cooper, and then he decided to quit after 9 games.
Do you blame him?
Cooper was the when we were looking. I'm joking. I don't want Cooper back.
I just found it funny that we signed him, I think on like Tuesday of week 1, and just before they left to come to New England, to fly to New England for the week 1 game here in New England, he retired. Because I remember I think it was Friday night, we had a party up in Boston for all the Raider Nation that was in town, and somebody said that, hey, Amari Cooper just retired. And I'm like, well, he probably walked into the facility, saw how much it was in disarray. Like, I don't want to be part of this clown show. See you later. Guess what? I'm retiring. Just like a revolving door. Walked in, saw it, walked right back out. See you later. And I don't blame him.
The Grandpa Simpson.
Yeah. Walks in, puts his hat down, turns right back around, puts the hat on, and walks out.
Sees Pete Carroll. Nope.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm done. I'm good.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we gotta see what happens because there could be someone that gets released from somebody that from this preseason, someone that a team could hold on to, maybe could be valuable. I don't know. I know there's going to be some more transactions after the preseason because everyone is not just being watched by their own team that they're on. They're being watched by the other 31 teams. So we'll see. We'll see on that.
Because what
did you think of the offense?
I was going to say real quick, every year there's surprise cuts. And you're like, wow, that guy got cut. And it's usually just because it's not that the guy just isn't good anymore. They just picked up somebody that was better than him. Could be serviceable on another team. So you don't know what's going to be available. We could end up making some moves. Not saying it's going to answer our problems, but could help. Yeah, really, right?
You guys got Gino. You don't need me. You guys are good. Which, hey, if everything goes like last, okay, Geno Smith helps the Jets get the #1 overall pick, Arch Manning, and the Raiders with Clint Kubiak wins the Super Bowl. No. Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong; it'd be awesome. Fuck yeah, but
I'm trying to tie it together.
Not gonna happen.
I'm trying to tie it together.
No. If anything, they'll get the first pick and we'll get the second pick. We'll just reverse roles from last year.
Reverse like
worst
this.
team will be the second worst.
That never happens.
That's what we hope we don't do this year. Okay, so the offensive line. What did you think of the offensive line play as a whole? I don't have a graphic for that because they don't really have stats for offensive linemen, especially in the preseason. But you saw that they had given up 2 sacks. One was against Mendoza when they tried to take off running. He got hit in the chest too. And that was in the red zone. Then the other one was, I believe, was O'Connell.
Yeah, on like
when
the
they
2 yard
put him
line.
in there. Yeah, they put him in there with the 4th string with the hopefuls, He's probably like, oh wow, I didn't know I was part of the hopeful crew. Okay.
He was in it with the tryharders, and they weren't trying too hard.
the ones on the tree outs.
Yeah.
Offensive line play, that's another topic for this season, especially after what happened last year. And then we didn't really get any outside of the center. We didn't really do anything with the offensive line. And with the we got the Zune. But overall, what did you think of the offensive line in this game?
I mean, they played the first team played pretty damn good, I think. It started to go down after that, though. JPJ played with the twos for pretty much the entire first half. I think maybe there was part of the last series where he was out. But he played almost the whole first half of the game, never came out. The starting offensive line, I mean, let's face it, they looked okay. They had their mistakes, and Colton Miller. Linderbaum's fine. Linderbaum's a beast in the run blocking for sure. Buford, I thought, had a decent game. Glaze, he still showed a little, wonkiness out there, I guess you could say. I'm more concerned about. Is this going to be a regular show now? No, I'm filling in for Asylum until he's back from his special op covert secret squirrel missions.
But you want to subscribe?
Yes, make sure you subscribe to the Cage Match. I did. It is pinned in my chat. So yes, make sure you guys get over. If you haven't already, anybody in my channel, get your asses over to the Cage Match. Hit that sub, hit the notification, give the thumbs up for the show. This Wednesday night show when him and Asylum are on it is great. It's funny. It's a good show. It's entertaining. It's informative. So, and they have some pretty good guests on sometimes too. Like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the offense played okay the first series. I mean, it showed how well we moved the ball on that first series. I like what I saw out of Zoom so far. I like what I saw out of Caleb Rogers, and I'm more worried about JPJ going forward. I've always been in his corner. I did start second guessing him later towards the end of the season last year, wondering, and I've said it on shows, is JPJ really as good as we think he is? How long is he here with this team? Did we put too much stock in this kid? Because again, you already said it. Your best ability is availability, and his availability has not been good. He hasn't had a complete season. This is his third year. He's already injured now in preseason. He's not going to play Thursday night. So there's a lot going against him right now. I mean, Caleb Rogers is getting those first string snaps on the offensive line, which I love because that's just giving him a shot to get in there and show what he can do. Is Caleb Rogers the answer until JPJ, they figure out what they're doing with him? We can't keep having this kid going out on injuries. He's unreliable, but he's such a cool, good kid. He's an aggressive player. He tries extremely hard. He's got that grit and that tenacity that Raider fans love. But if he can't stay healthy, he ain't helping the team. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And the press conference, was it yesterday? They asked Kubiak about JPJ, and this is what he had to say.
JPJ left practice early yesterday, and then he was here today, but he wasn't with the team on the field. What's the update on him?
Yeah, he got banged up in practice yesterday. We wanted to be cautious today, and we got to keep evaluating him moving forward.
Has he been ruled out for Thursday yet?
I would not expect JPJ to play Thursday night. No.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, like you said, he's most likely ain't going to play tomorrow, and they didn't say what it was, but that sounds concussion. Maybe
that's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, and going what you. Oh no, go ahead.
No, I mean, because they said he walked off the field with the trainer, and it wasn't like he had a limp or anything like that. So I got to think to believe that they're taking precautionary measures that it might be a concussion. Now, again, over the weekend, Kubiak was asked about JPJ because there's still a competition going on. They're like, does that mean he's slated for the start, or is he done with the competition? He says, not at this time, no. So, even before this injury, he was still, in a competition for that spot. So it's
I saw that they asked him. They said, we saw JPJ going with the runs the whole practice. Does that mean he's the starter? No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah, he was short and to the point.
Yeah.
So I was like, I saw that. I'm like, something's going on. Last year I thought it was a mental health thing with the way they were treating him, and it just got the better of him. But maybe now with especially with Dennis in here, I would trust what he's given feedback to Kubiak on what's going on with him, as far as his ability to play the spot as good as as good as to be expected. But yeah, and I saw that today too, Panda, because he was talking about that Lincoln Kennedy about I'm worried too that I don't think he's going to start. I don't think he'll make the 53. I don't have any doubt about that, because he's a great rotational piece, or a depth spot in case somebody gets injured, and he can play multiple sides. He's not just strictly a right tackle or right guard. He can play left and right. But I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't start. And again, he's not doing himself any favors, not out in the field.
Yeah, and going to that Lincoln Kennedy, the comment, I do have what Lincoln Kennedy thinks about the whole situation with JPJ, and then his unavailability for this team for the last couple seasons. He's going to his third season, like you said, haven't played a full season. So let me play that, and then react to what Lincoln Kennedy says.
I understand wholeheartedly why teams backed off of him from the draft. I get it. But I also see the desire of a young man who wants to be that guy. And I understand that. But at the same point, you have to be able to stand throughout your teammates throughout the season. And this is the biggest thing that I have with JPJ. I love his tenacity. I love his aggression. I love his play. But you have to be available. And there's a reason why he fell, possibly from a number one draft choice to, or in the first round draft choice to where he was. There were a lot of teams that suspected this was going to happen. And I hate this for JPJ. Not for the Raiders. I hate it for JPJ because I really want to see this young man succeed.
Yep.
I don't want to give up on a young man.
Right.
But I don't know if I have a place for him. And that's just that's just
reality. It's reality, and that's the nature of the beast when it comes to the National Football League. You could be as talented, and I think he's one of the most talented dudes that are out there. I think he's got that nasty streak that I would love to see, that Raiders offensive line, that identity. I would love to see them have that. But again, that nasty don't matter if you're on the sideline, right? It just doesn't matter. And when you've played 23 out of 34 games so far in your career, that just kind of tells you where you're at.
But as many times as I've had conversations about JPJ is a better guard than he is a center, all this other stuff, what comes down to it is if he's available.
Right.
Can he hit the field? Can he be on the field? If he does me no good if he has his helmet off and he's on the sideline. Absolutely no good. Does nothing shit for me. I'm sorry, my language. But he does nothing for me if he's not on the football field. And that's what it comes down to.
I mean, yeah, you like the guy, he's a cool dude, whatever, but this is National Football League. This is like if you can't be out in the field.
No, and I know how much you were in his corner too, because I know how much you like JPJ. I've heard you and Asylum talk about him in the past. And after his rookie year and the way that he finished that season off, I had great hopes for this kid. I thought he was going to be like the next, not saying he's going to be as good as him, but he had that same tenacity or that nasty streak that Wisniewski had. You know, some of these old school offensive linemen had. You know, they were just not dirty, but they play right to the end of the whistle. They don't give a shit. You know, if they're blocking you and they're pushing you, they're not going to stop until the whistle blows, no matter how far down the field they've pushed you. And that's the way he is. You know, you've seen his play in the past. You know, when it's a running play and the running back breaks it, who's one of the first guys down there? It's JPJ. He's usually one of the first guys down there to pick up the receiver or the running back. The kid hustles. He doesn't stop. You know, and that's just it sucks that this is happening to him. And I agree with Lincoln Kennedy, and I've been saying this for a while. You know, I love the kid, and I hate this to happen for him because he's talented. He's good at what he does, but he can't overlook the injury issue, and that's a shame. You know, I just wish he could get over that. But if it's concussions, it's only going to get worse for him. You know, because now he's going to start looking at quality of life after football. That's a huge thing. You know, why some of these players don't play as long sometimes. They have too many concussions. What good are they when they're in their 40s and 50s when their brain starts to become mush and they can't remember stuff, or, you know, they're having health issues because of it. You know, yeah, it's great. You played during all that, you know, but what good is it now? Your quality of life is not the best. You know, that's what it comes down to. You got to think about your future. So it sucks. And I feel horrible for the kid.
Yeah, you know, playing offensive line, you're constantly helmet to helmet with the defender because you're using everything you. Not saying that you're going in head first because that's not how you're supposed to play offensive line. But when you go up against somebody, you know, those face masks are going to clash with each other. You know, the crown of your helmet, if you're trying to get low on a D tackle, the crown of your helmet is going to hit, you know, the front of the D tackle's helmet. So you're constantly using your head as part of your block, you know, to get
like a battering ram.
Yeah. So because I played offensive line, and sometimes, you know, when you're in, especially in the middle, center and guards, like you're doing some dirty stuff. You're going to pull the guy, and you're going try to, like, you know, you hit real quick and then try to control. So
I'm laughing at Ed's
causing
message. The kids should learn how to play golf.
I mean, it's reminding me of Varsity Blues. Remember Varsity Blues? I think he was the guard, right? I got my cat scanned. You're what? I got my cat scanned. Oh, you got a cat? Yeah. I'm gonna play. Go and pass out by the washing machine. But I'm not making fun. But it's like, you know, you're playing in them, especially the middle of the offensive line. Like that takes a lot of the contact. Tackles, you're more going with the momentum of that end or that outside rusher that's trying to rush in. So you're not really getting, you know, you're not really taking too many hits to the head like that.
The smaller guys
up in the
too.
middle, yeah. So
edges are smaller than your interior D linemen. There's some big boys. You're talking big mass versus big mass. I mean,
300 plus.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Mr. Silva? Thank you, Predator. I appreciate you, brother, with the gifted membership on my channel, brother. Thank you. You're the man, Anthony. Yeah, I hope he can get over. I mean, again, it's concussions. You have one, you're more susceptible. Look at Tua. You know, look at Tua's situation. You know, he had that one concussion a couple of years ago, and then he had one later in the season, and you know that did him in. You know, he didn't play for a while after that. He didn't play the rest of the season, first of all, and even there was question about him coming into the season after. And now he's on Atlanta. You know, what's going to happen there with them? You know, is he going to be able to make it a game before he gets cracked in the head? I mean, he's one stiff breeze away from getting another concussion. It won't take much for him to get one. Because once you have one, they become more and more easily to obtain. Well, to have happen, I should say, not obtain. Not like you go out looking for a concussion, but I'm on the hunt. I want to be concussed. But they take it more serious now. They have to,
Yeah. And on that, that's what on that same show with Lincoln Kennedy, he talked about that during that portion, whatever, when he said, yeah, back in the day, you go to the trainer and they're like, how many fingers are you holding up? It's gonna be more than one, so you say more than one. Yeah, he just had his bell rung. He's good. Go back out there. I mean, in the '76 season, Raiders versus the Bears and Soldier Field and the frozen grass, or no, they had turf. No, they had whatever. It was cold. Stabler had a concussion and was taken out the game, and he came back later, and I believe they won that game because they only lost one game that year. But I think he won that game. He came back after concussion and came back and won. So back then, and guys like Steve Young took a lot of hits, knocked out the game, tried to come back later in the game. I know, Brett Favre took a lot of hits back in those days. A lot of these quarterbacks in especially like in the late 80s, 90s, it took a lot of hits. Well, they're knocked out, but it's never like, oh, he's out the game. It's, oh, well, maybe he can come back in the third quarter. Oh, he's back. You could tell they're a little woozy, but no, he's standing. He's good. He's good.
You remember how cheesy those helmets were back then, though? There was hardly any padding in those. Jesus Christ.
I mean, look at Jim Plunkett's helmet.
Yeah.
His whole face came out to the face mask. It was literally just a shell. All right, there you go. And some cotton balls. All right, yeah, you're good. All right.
Yeah, you're good. Just drop it up extra tight. Oh, well, okay. You can't move his face. His face can't even move. You can barely talk.
I remember back in the day in high school, you had because my high school, we had the same helmets from like the 80s, and I played at the end of the 90s. I graduated 03, so we had helmets from like, if they were still good and they were still, oh yeah, you're good. You're good. Not realizing that construction helmets, and they have an expiration date. Not realizing that baby car seats have an expiration date, but football helmets, no, it's still good. Hold on, just put the thing in.
Yep, pump it up with air.
All right,
if you were lucky enough to be given one of those, other than that, you had the egg carton on the inside, all the little foam blocks, and if you had hair on your head, you take your helmet off, and you had like that pattern on your head.
Yeah. The imprint of it. Oh yeah. It did not affect me one bit at all. Has been disappointment. Another bad draft pick, can't stay healthy, and it's not even. And see, that's the thing. It's not his ability. It's just he can't stay healthy.
His availability.
His availability is the question. It's not his ability, it's the availability. And it's like he's a very talented offensive lineman. And I think out of a lot of the offensive linemen that we had drafted to be starters, not just depth pieces, but like to be starters, like the Robert Galleries and the and Wisniewski's nephew, Stefan. I think like JPJ is the more talented one, but first two seasons missing significant time, and it's like something different. Like his rookie year, was it like his ankle or his it was like his lower extremities,
his foot or something like that. I think it was, which is why he didn't play through most of the early part of that season because he was still on the injury report for a good chunk of the season that year.
Yeah, and then I think he ended up getting hurt again later that year or later last year. So, it's like he has the hustle. He's not just whatever like you said. He'll run down the field and he'll get that last hit right before the whistle ends. So now I think like it's like still during the whistle. It's still during the whistle. Hey, Mr. 58, come here. You're playing too rough. Can you please calm it down? Oh, okay. I thought, okay, whatever. So he has that Raider in him, but it doesn't matter if you're on the sideline. It doesn't matter. You could be like all us other fans who wear our shoulder pads out in the stands, yelling and being aggressive. But on the field, it's like, hey, if you're not out there to block, if you can't out there and be a blocker, be on this offensive line, and if the Raiders, it's one of those things I'll be 50-50 surprised and not surprised if the Raiders find a suitor to get something out of him, maybe like a 3rd round pick or something, trade him, whatever.
I'll tell you what, if they don't, he's gone after year 4. I don't see us keeping him. Because you remember, this current regime, there's no ties to him. He was drafted a year before Spytek came in. Colton Miller, these guys that have been here for a long time, they're the life of this team.
Cornerstones.
Yeah, the cornerstones, basically. Right. Anybody that was drafted last year, Spytek was involved with. So those guys will end up probably getting pushed through. But guys like JPJ, Glaze, anybody that came before Spytek, he's got no ties to them. He owes them nothing. He didn't draft them, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere within the next year or two, JPJ's gone. Again, this is his 3rd year. He's got 1 more year after this because he wasn't a first rounder, so he doesn't have that 5th-year option. So it's a 4-year contract.
Yeah.
If we can't unload him for something, then we're just going to let him go. We're not going to renegotiate with him. We're just going to let him float out into free agency. Because what good is re-signing a guy that's just super injury prone? We're just paying for him to sit on the bench and nurse injuries or concussions.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, he can go in for like field goal team, kick blocking. Field goal for the Tokyo Joe.
How far you fall, though? You go from being the starting center, and then you're not the center, and then you're playing as the guard, and now you just relegated. You can be Thornton. You just relegated the special teams until we're done with you. What the fuck?
Do you think that still lingers in his mind of the fact that, because I think you had mentioned, you said that that clip where when Ashton Genty gets drafted and he comes to the Raiders facility, and then one of the first persons to introduce himself was JPJ. Hi, I'm your center. Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think
be fighting with Kappa.
Yeah, I don't think what's his face, Chip Kelly liked that too much. So, and that's I think that's what started it, because Chip Kelly's never one to come out and say, doesn't like it when someone refers to them as the starter. No, his philosophy was everybody's got to earn their spot type of thing. I decide who's the starter, not you. So I think that's what kind of started all that bullshit. But no, it's true. We're not a rehabilitation center. We're not paying these guys millions of dollars.
No, we're not Betty Ford.
Now, like Lincoln said, you can't. What did he say? Something from the tub. You can't.
You can't make the from the tub. I know which one. I know what the one. It rhymed too.
Yeah, it did, and I can't get the rhyme for the life of me.
It right. What's okay? Tub, bub, cub, dubby, then dub.
Oh my god! I forgot what the hell.
Yeah, but basically. Basically, you can't. If you're injured, you're hurt. You can't make the. You can't make the club from the tub.
Is that what it is? I think that's what
that's not.
We'll go with it.
That's
Sounds
the only
good.
thing that rhymes. Yeah, you can't make the club from the tub. There we go. Final
They
answer.
can't help the club from the top or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Whatever. It was the word
yes,
club.
yes.
Sounds good. It rhymes. We're good.
So, final thoughts. Final thoughts on week one's preseason. Final thoughts on week one's preseason. You first.
I just want to see improvement, you know. And going back to what you said about Arizona already had the game and everything, I've been saying that. And plus, don't forget, with them also playing that game in Carolina, they had a whole game worth of game film to study on their own, discrepancies, and were able to work on it, you know. So they had a week of looking at their own game film, you know, to prepare and make changes that work, that plays that worked and plays that didn't work, and then just scrub some of that stuff and see what they could do against us. You know, this game with Houston, we're coming in on an even keel with Houston. So, you know, I chalked that up to that also with that game last week. If we just came out flat after the first team and, you know, the second touchdown we just looked flat after that. And, yeah, we definitely needed to address the kicking. The kicking game is atrocious. We're not a luxury team right now, like, say, the Rams, that can work with a project kicker or a project quarterback to back up Stafford. We don't have that. So the kicking game hurt us too. You know, granted, it's not like we would have won the game based on the kicking, but I mean, that's another thing that we saw was not very good. It makes me nervous going into the season.
He was like the kid from Little Giants. When he tried that one, I couldn't kick a field goal.
He just kept kicking into the kid's ass.
And then kicking the kid in the Hey, we had a kicker like that in high school. Our long snapper, right when he snapped the ball, he went up to. No, this was in practice. So he went up to, like, pretending he was blocking, and that ball came right back up the a-hole. Okay, up the the kicker. Oh yeah. If your helmets ain't gonna work.
Yeah, no. I mean, do I think we're gonna see improvement from last week? Maybe. But we got a tough one this week. So
is Carlson still available?
Yeah, he is. He just had a tryout like a week or so ago with Green Bay.
Oh, it's going.
His brother
that's where he came from.
No, his brother came from there.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was.
His brother was.
I knew there was a Carlson there.
Daniel Carlson, I think, was in Minnesota. I think he was with the Vikings, maybe. If I'm not, I think I'm not sure. I thought that's what I saw before when I looked up his stats a while ago. But
so my final thoughts on the game. I feel like the offense. I mean, clearly the offense looked way better than it did last year in the preseason. But you know, that's neither here or there. But I feel like under Cousins, the offense looked in control, and we haven't really seen our offense look in control since Derek Carr. And I think Cousins is the 7th starter since Derek Carr, or the 7th starter. Yeah, whatever. But the offense looked more control, more calm under Cousins, and then him being able to go down the field and score on the first drive, which we rarely saw that last year. We can start every game where we go on offense and we just take it down the field and we score a touchdown, not field goals, but a touchdown. You know, I mean, that right there, we get a 7 spot quickly. If that's what our offense can do, I would take that, of course. And then when Mendoza came in, you know, after the jitters, after he got his, you know, first hit and jitters and all that, whatever. I never really saw too much of his game in college. But seeing that he does have that quick strike that he did, that quick, you know, when he threw it to Besh, and then you saw a lot of his passes where he has the confidence to throw that ball before the receiver's looking. So he's throwing at the break of the route to where he's turning, because you know, Kubiak's offense is all about timing. for him to trust and be confident in that throw, to throw that as the receiver is turning around, not when he's already turned around, but as he's breaking, and then right when he turns around, the ball's already right here. Like that right there, I was impressed with. So overall, there were good flashes. The defense, though, like you said, the defense, that secondary especially, and I know the secondary ties in with pass rush. If the pass rush is there, the secondary have more opportunities. So really, the secondary was out there trying to be that, where the pass rush wasn't there. That secondary was trying to be that last line of defense. I know that sounds obvious, but what I'm trying to say, like, if you guys can't stop him, we're gonna try to have to stop him now. And these guys are running free because this quarterback's giving all the free time in the world. Gardner Minshew looks like the guy that we were supposed to get from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right. The guy we're supposed to get from the Colts. It wasn't the Minshew that we saw in 2024. So that is the concerning thing, is that defense and that secondary, which is very young. And then, Rob Leonard just running vanilla plays, but whether it's the play calling, we're not trying to, exotic scheme to force the quarterback to throw into something. This is all strictly just fundamental work. We'll see what happens in game 2 now that they got this game under the belt, and they can kind of, like you said, how the Cardinals are able to look at their own film and see what mistakes they made, and what they should have did here in this situation, that situation, to learn from that. So maybe after this game, they go back and they saw their flaws and what they need to do to improve, and that shows more, more in this game tomorrow night. But the offense looked good. Well, the offense looked promising. So I'll take it as that was just the first game. We'll see what happens in game 2. The Raiders did travel to Houston early, and they had the joint practices. And I heard that Cousins was, how we got into that little whatever it was with Max Crosby. They are friends now. They're friends now. Okay. So
cute. Look at that.
They're friends now. Okay.
That's adorable.
We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing. Okay. But I thought this was funny. Not funny, but just when they asked Cousins about him being feisty, they say you're being feisty at the end of the game, at the end of the practice, because it's Cousins. He's like this. Also happy-go-lucky. Whatever. So I thought this was pretty. Not funny. It was just whatever. I'm gonna play this clip real quick.
Right you like that?
So you get a little upset toward the end of practice. So what exactly happened on that?
Well, my elbow got hit, and I joke with Max. I say you can touch me anywhere you want, just don't touch my arm. But you want to bump me in the ribs. I think if anything, hit me in the hips or the ribs is actually good because it simulates what I need to feel. I said the elbow and the shoulders where I could sprain something pretty easily. So if you could just help me, I got some scars from some hits in real games where helmets go into armpits and things, and it ruins your season. So I was just asking him to just stay off the arm, and had to remind the Texans as well. You can hit me anywhere you want, or I might as well just take the red jersey off because you're playing with sometimes an understood rule that if it's not understood, then what are we doing?
I thought that was funny because you look at his facial expressions. You think of Kirk Cousins, like you said. What was that? His catchphrase?
You like that? Yeah, when he was in. That was when
Washington
at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. You think he's just like this goofy dude that, oh yeah, you like that, and then he got the chains and on the plane, whatever, like this goofy white dude. But you see him look like he was trying to hold back, like, he saw like the grit, like I just said, like, hey, don't you could hit me here, whatever, just don't touch the moneymaker, don't go there, okay, just I just had to let him know, like, hey guys, let's not okay, But I wouldn't say that out loud because now you're telling folks this is the target, this is the target, this is the target.
Yeah, right.
This is the target. You know,
paint yourself a bullseye on your arm and elbow. Don't hit me under the armpit. What?
But I mean, like, imagine, you know, Kirk Cousins is happy to go like, hey guys, you know, whatever, you know. But then he gets pushed a certain way, and then he just like he snaps, like he goes Mike Douglas, you know, on everybody, you know that movie, you know the movie I'm talking about.
Falling down.
He turned into that guy, you know, at the McDonald's. I want the number 7.
Oh, we stopped serving breakfast.
He turned into him at the McDonald's.
10:35. He pulls out a Mac 10.
You got no breakfast in the back? Like you just thought? No, sir, we got no breakfast. Okay, give me the number 7. Here you go. What is this? That's the no. I want on the picture. I want that right there. I want the duffel bag. I want that right there. I feel like Kirk Cousins has that in him. And, you know, you see him go against Max Crosby in practice where he got both him and Max Crosby kicked out of practice.
Yeah.
And I was over there jarring at the Texans, you know, a top defense with them defensive linemen.
Yeah,
I think
smart move, Kurt.
You like that? So I don't know. Like I like what's up, Timmy King? I like that Kirk Cousins is saying, like, don't, Kate. I know I'm older, whatever, you know, but don't mess, okay? He's like, don't touch my stapler, okay? Don't touch my stapler. It's my stapler. Okay.
Right, Milton.
It's my stapler.
It's my stapler with
now now I wonder if, you know, they would ask Kirk Cousins, hey, what advice do you give Mendoza, you know, or whatever. I wonder if Kirk Cousins would be like, all right, Mendoza. He given the same speech. I heard Bill Romanowski tell the story. Bill Romanowski, when he was with the 49ers, got drafted by the 49ers, you know, in his rookie year in preseason, he went to go make a tackle, and when he got up, the guy he tackled went and shoved him. And Romanowski ran back to the huddle, you know, and nothing, whatever. That following, whenever they were watching the game film of that game, that showed up on the film. Ronnie Lott turned off the video, turned on the lights, because, you know, I probably had the old school projector. Yeah. Whatever. Turn it off. Romanowski, Bill, whatever they called him, Robert. No, Bill. No, actually, William. Robert is Rob. William Romanowski. Listen here. If you ever let anybody push you in this league, if I see you getting shoved and you don't do nothing about it, I'm taking, you know. And Romanowski said, since that speech, that's when he basically became Romanowski. That's when he basically became that guy that you didn't want to face because you know there's going to be an extra, you know, sprinkled on every hit, sprinkled on every play.
Yeah. No,
you know, you come down the middle.
When the play's done, too.
Yeah, a little Mrs. Dash is on there, you know, a little Mrs. Gash. You know, is on there. So
Romanowski is one of those players that should have been a Raider from day one. You know, he had that tenacity, that image, that bad guy. Lyle Alzato's another one that should have been a Raider from day one. You know, unfortunately spent time with Cleveland and then with Denver. You know, Richard Seymour's another one. Richard Seymour was a nasty, nasty man when he was up here in New England, and you got to see that when he was in Oakland. You know how nasty
he punched Roethlisberger in the face.
I mean, he just punched him right in the face and knocked him right on the back. You know, there's very few players that I give that honor to that should have been a Raider from day one, and definitely Romanowski and Alzato without a doubt. You know, should have been Raiders from day one. They just got here too late. You know, could you imagine Romanowski in his prime? playing for this team. Oh, good God.
I had that conversation today at work. I was all like, Romanowski should have been a Raider. At least the 5 years before he signed with the Raiders, at least during that time, at least give me from the beginning of that little run we had from 2000 into 2002, like from the beginning of that, give me that much, But yeah, Romanowski falls into that same category as Alzado. Alzado drafted by the Broncos, got to the Super Bowl, lost, got traded to the Browns because he did a fight with Muhammad Ali, and the Broncos like, hey man, we can't. You go to the Browns. You're too much of a liability.
We're supposed to be an exhibition, but nobody told Lyle Alzado was an exhibition. Thought he was fighting him for real.
I know. So then he ended up becoming a Raider, and what 2-3 seasons later, they ended up winning Super Bowl 18 against the Washington football team.
Redskins, you can say it. I say it all the time.
Against the potatoes.
Look it up in the history books. It doesn't say we beat the Washington Commanders. What's it say? It says we beat the Washington Redskins. So.
Commando.
The Commanders are still better than the Washington football team. Get out of here.
Theismann is a Native American name, okay? No, I don't know. I'm just joking. I don't know. But I mean it could be, Theismann, he's I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm just trying to say, like, don't take away the history, okay? Don't take away the history. They're the Redskins, okay?
Exactly.
Yeah, Theismann could be a Native American name, okay? Like Monk, Art Monk, right? He was a receiver for them, right? Yeah.
Well, Darryl Green,
yeah. See, there's a whole bunch of colors in that team, okay?
Doug Williams.
So let's not.
Ripien,
yeah.
Ripien. There you go. There's one.
But like,
Mark
I don't know.
Scroller. Russ Grimm.
I was trying to find another clip I had. But I wonder if he tells Mendoza, because Mendoza, you watch his interviews, and he's like,
it's too nice.
He's like when I ask my stepson, school today. Oh, school was good. Like we learned how to we did math, and math is like we learned 5 + 3 and like 50 + 30, and then you kind of put it together, and then that's when you get the number. So did you learn it? Yeah. Okay, what's 5 + 3? 8. Okay, what's 50 + 30? 80. Okay, yeah, okay, you learned it. Okay. So he kind of has like that 5, that not 5 because he's not 5, but kid, in school, like, yeah, we did this and did that and did this and did that. Okay, I just asked you a simple question. You didn't tell me your whole life story in this simple question. I just said, hey, what'd you think of the defense? Oh man, the defense was like you see the guys and they come at you, and then you gotta make a decision. And when you make the decision, you have to see when the decision plays out that was the right decision. And that's what I'm trying to learn, how to make that decision when I decide that decision. Okay.
That's about the same look anybody would give him if he said that. I'd be like, what?
But it's like, I hope that, he tells him that Kirk Cousins tells him, like, hey, look, I have to show my edginess side. If Max Crosby comes at you, you don't just give him a hug. You have to be like, hey, like in Back to the Future. Remember in Back to the Future when Marty McFly was trying to teach George McFly how to fight? And he's like, yeah, you got to go and you're going to see me with Lorraine and you're going to touch her on her. No. I just need you to go over there. You say, hey, man, get your hands off of her. So I just hope that Cousins does that for Mendoza when he
just tells him, don't take no shit from anybody, plain and simple.
Yeah, those guys were mean, but I totally looked them in the eye and I said, hey, man, no.
And then just pray to God, if you do start something with the opposing team's player, pray to God your offensive linemen are right there to back you up. Because they should.
You see JBJ running from the bench. No helmet at all. I was trying to find this video. I can't find this video. But because I was watching Fernando Mendoza, and I just thought this question that from Hondo, I just thought it was funny the way he answered it, because it was just like how the little kid. I don't know. I'm gonna play it right now. I just think it's funny.
Background's pissing me off. I can't handle it anymore. It's so tied to disappearing into the screen.
Because you're not. See, Asylum is crazy. You have to be crazy to deal with that.
Yeah,
you have to be. You have to have a little JPJ in your mind, Kay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fernando, I just talked to Clint. This is a timing-based offense, so there's times you have to throw a ball, and if a receiver runs a wrong route, gets picked, it goes against you. How hard is that, just learning quickly a new offense that is so timing-based?
Yeah, I would say that it is tough. However, everything that is tough, you wouldn't want something to be easy. If it's tough, it's worth it, and that's why it works at the highest level. And it's great because the teammates, we rely on each other. We rely on the receivers to make the right timing and right route. The receivers rely on the quarterback to throw in the correct timing. The linemen rely on the quarterback to get it out on time. The quarterback rely on the lineman to give them that time to throw it. And then the tight end, there's so many different variables of it. And when we all rely on each other, I believe it makes us closer. And when we become one oiled unit, and we have all this synergy and become a dynamic ecosystem where we're evolving together, playing on time, be able to make, and then still make some off-schedule plays, but mostly playing on time, then that's what teams in this system take the next level.
All right, this kid's got to cut this shit out. He's got to stop talking like that. I know he's so well media trained. Once you get to Indiana and they look like, hey, you might be in the Heisman Trophy or blah, blah, blah. They trained him so well on how to talk to that was great in college, dude. You got to get a sack. You got to come out and just short, sweet answers. Stop these philosophy-filled fucking answers. That is absolutely ridiculous. What I would get so annoyed as a reporter if I asked him a question and that's what he throws back at me. I'm so confused listening to that. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Seriously, shut up. It doesn't even make sense what the shit you're talking about. The synergy and this is what we strive for. Just say, you know what? We go out there, we try and do our best. I put the ball in, I get the ball snapped to me. I know the play where we're going to go with it. I go through my progressions. Whatever looks open, I throw the ball to. Boom, done. Next question. I don't sit there. Oh, my God. I get it. He loves football, but come on, man. Seriously.
The synergy, though. It's the synergy. You're not understanding the synergy, okay? It's the synergy.
This kid needs to spend a night on the fucking strip, just getting his fucking hose cleaned or doing whatever the fuck they need to do to snap him out of this fucking good boy image, because this shit ain't gonna cut it. He's got to get a set of balls. He's got to stop with this philosophy answer type shit. That is absolutely ridiculous.
It's the synergy, okay?
This isn't what he's like. I'm telling you right now. Did you see what he was like when he was in Cal? Blonde hair, he looked like a fucking rebel type of kid. He goes to fucking Indiana, and all of a sudden he's this well-trained, speaks in a certain mannerism every goddamn time. Every time he talks like this, and it's fucking annoying. Oh my God.
Well, that was Berkeley.
I hate how he is.
They burn bras over there in Berkeley, okay? So that's he.
Yeah, get his boots clean, whatever the fuck it's gonna take.
You gotta take him to Little Darlings.
This guy needs the Jimmy G package when he was in fucking Vegas.
Oh yeah, you gonna see Jimmy G was signed by the Raiders to play quarterback? No.
No, he was there to help fucking Mendoza get out of his funk.
He's
funk
there to baptize. He's there to help Mendoza naturalize. That's not a word. Be more mature. Be more mature. Maturize.
Matrimony.
Okay. Milk is pasteurized. This is maturize.
He's not castrated. Well, you know what? Maybe he might be castrated. I don't know.
No,
Good Lord.
No. And I'm not trying to make fun of the guy, but you know, when I saw that, I thought of this.
Now he's a philosophizer.
You tell me when the last time you heard a quarterback or any NFL player come out and talk like that. Ever.
I mean, like Derek Carr didn't. I mean, no, Derek Carr
like that.
Wasn't like, but Derek Carr was like, yeah, you know, the offense, you know, we gotta make sure that the plays are run smoothly, and then that's on me. I gotta make sure that I get the
That's still 1,000
play on
times
time.
what this boob just said, or the way he just relayed the information. That was horrible.
I got to get the play on time. You know, it's I got to get down there. I got to make sure that my guys are lined up. You know, I got to make sure that everyone is on the same page. And you know, he kind of got like that Obama cadence. You know, I got to make sure that you know, everyone is good to go, and that Mendoza, and then Todd Christensen with the vernacular.
I'm sorry. I just don't know anybody his age that talks like that. I'm sorry. Seriously, I don't. I've never met anybody that talks like that.
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow wasn't like that either. He didn't talk like that. Like, what's he even talking about? That whole conversation? I don't even get it.
The synergy better be there on game.
Tim Tebow wasn't on our team. I don't give a shit. This is a kid that's representing the Raiders. That's whatever. I'm not gonna get into an argument with people over it. I'm not making.
I wasn't trying to put you. Because I thought it was. Because I'm when I watch or when I listen to his interviews, you know, you got guys like Hondo who asks him a question, and it'll be like 5 minutes. You know, I kind of like the synergy. As the universe comes together, when the stars align and the planets and the moon, the force of the moon with the lunar eclipse of the ball.
And then when that happens, we're all going to go have pudding. I mean, that doesn't make sense. It's like, what the fuck is he talking about? And I don't care what Tim Tebow said. He wasn't on the Raiders. I didn't pay attention to half the shit he did or said. This guy's on our team. I got to see this kid all the time. This is different. I don't give a fuck about Tim Tebow. This is just hilarious.
But hey, you know, it would be cool. Like, he wins the Super Bowl. All right, you know, I mean, I know he had that one game where he did the whole promo at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But can you imagine? Okay, Mendoza, you took the Raiders to the Super Bowl 61, and you finally got the Raiders to win since 1983. That's about 83, 93, 2003, 83. I'm 41 now. I was 85 and 45. Okay, so that was like almost 50 years ago. And you came in, and you was this team's savior. Can you tell us about the game? Oh yes, you know, like the synergy of the Super Bowl aura, that when you come into the game, the pageantry of everything that's going on. Like, I had to make sure that I calm down the nerves and everything that's there, so I can make sure that my adrenaline wasn't going 100,000%. I had to make sure that I was there to be calm and be there with my teammates and make sure everybody else was calm, because, you know, when you go out there, everything is magnified. It's magnified to another level, because in the NFL, it's a whole nother level. I did win the Heisman Trophy and was national championship with Indiana against Miami, but this is like the next level. So you have to make sure that you bring that inner synergy out, but channel it in a way that you can distribute it to the other players and make them feel the synergy around you for us to be here on this platform, on this podium, holding the trophy of Lombardi and being Super Bowl champions for the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay.
I'm sorry. What'd you say? You lost me after the first 2 words, and I started playing on my phone. That's the gist of that conversation from him. That's pretty much what it is. I zoned out the second he started talking. It's like, because what the hell is he talking about? That is just whatever. Good Lord. Hey, and just real quick, by the way, it's been 42 years, 6 months, 28 days, 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 18 seconds since we last won the Super Bowl. So we have, you know what that equals? That equals 1,345,525,598 seconds without another Raiders Super Bowl victory.
Oh, it's still counting then.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't find this video. I was trying to play this video. I can't find it. I don't know what file I have it on.
Makes famous for the 5 jewels with the tree.
Actually, I'm not. I'm making fun, but I'm not judging him on his podium.
I am. It's obvious.
I just when I saw that, I'm all like, okay, somebody needs to go over there and be like, hey, Mendoza, we're gonna take you to the strip, like you said, take him to the strip.
Yeah,
we're gonna show you some things, Kay. We're gonna do the whole hangover thing.
I'm glad you brought this up tonight because first of all, this is the first time I saw it, and my reaction was 100% genuine. So that's the best part of all this. Like when I first started hearing him talk when you were playing it, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? That's why I lost it. I was just calculating how I wanted to say it. I couldn't wait until you were done playing it because I was just ready to unleash because that is just the most. I don't care. Super respectful. Okay, great. But, my God. This kid is just so well trained on how to talk to the media. Come on. It's not that he's respectful and knows what to say. He just knows how to say it because he's been so well media trained. This is atrocious. Oh, whatever. That's not what I want in a player for the Raiders. I want somebody to come out with some intensity, some desire, not to sit there and look like a goofier version of Pee Wee Herman. I don't know how to play. It's like, just come out and just say it. Just say what you want to say. Say it with your chest.
Even Pee Wee Herman saw some movie. Even Pee Wee Herman, has been at the theater.
I don't care about the whole Christian thing. It's just I am too, but God, Fred, good Lord. If I get to endure this for 15 years, I'm going to go insane. Every time he gets up and talk, that's what it's going to be with.
I'm mad I can't find this video I want to play. I'm mad. I don't know what I do with it. And I just played it.
I love that guy. Rest in peace, Paul Rubens.
Actually, yes.
Favorite movie with him was Mystery Men, The Spinning.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the
that movie was underrated.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
That movie was underrated.
Mr. Furious, and he doesn't even do anything.
That movie was underrated.
I'm the waffler.
I can't find. I'm mad at myself right now. I can't find. I gotta have these videos like ready, cause I had a. I can't find it. I've been trying to buy time so I can find it, but I made so many different videos for these shows, and I just kind of just put them somewhere so I can the folder I save them to, they don't get full of I run out of room, and I'm just mad I can't find it. It was an off season. It was right before we left. I can't find it. I'm mad because I want it to be like this, and I can't find the video. But I mean, yeah, it's let's talk about real quick before we end the show. We got a few minutes. Tomorrow, the Raiders are facing the Texans. Now, it was said, I heard today that there's not going to be too much. The Texans are not going to have a lot of their starters play too much because they found out that their Higgins had an ACL, their second receiver. So I think they're trying to be more cautious. When one of their star players goes down, okay, everyone, hey, let's just, because injuries are contagious. Everyone's going to play one series and that's it. So the Raiders probably be most of their ones going against a lot of 2s and 3s from the start. In this game, what are you? I know we want to see the defense looking better, but I guess mainly what are you looking for in this game following last week's game against the Cardinals?
Well, obviously we already know JPJ is not going to play. They've already said it. So if it's Caleb Rogers out there, I want to see what he does against their ones with our ones. I want to see what type of impact he has at the start of this game, because it's obviously going to be him. I can't imagine they're going to be like, oh no, we're going to put Mafia in there. Well, you just had this kid practice with the ones for the last 2 days against Houston. Why would you not put him out there in the game? I want to see that. I want to see how the defense has improved. Outside of Dean and Walker, I'm not worried about those two. Those guys are balls. I don't want them out there for too long. That's my big thing. I don't want them out there for too long. There's commodities on this roster we have to protect. Okay, Max is one of them. Brock Bowers is another, and I think Walker and Dean, especially Dean, because he is a little injury prone. Okay, we need to protect those assets. All right, Cousins should get probably the first series is like they did last week, and then I know they talked about getting all 3 guys starting time or playing time with the ones. I don't know how that's going to work out this game, but I wouldn't mind seeing Mendoza out there with the ones. Again, it's offensive line and that front defensive. And again, Houston's offense doesn't really scare me, like their passing game. So maybe we see a better result from our secondary, but that's only because of Houston's not that good of a passing team. They're more of a run team, like Montgomery. If our front line is not set, if we can't stop the run, Montgomery's going to run all over us. He's going to have a day against us. That's my biggest worry right there. If we can't stop the run 2 games in a row like that, that again, we thought we were going to have a much better defense, but and again, I don't want to see McDonald blow up against us either, because it's like, God damn it, that's the guy we should have had. But yeah, Caleb Rogers is going to be the big one for me to watch. I want to see what he does for sure.
Yeah, I want to see Mendoza behind a starting offense, the starting offensive line, and allowing this offensive line, whoever it's going to be, if it's going to be, like say Caleb Rogers taking over, or behind, who is it Rogers that's fighting with that's competing with JPJ? So no, I'm trying to get him on the left side.
Yeah, because it was the depth chart was showing Mafi behind JPJ,
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, once JPJ got injured and was out, now all of a sudden it's Caleb Rogers that's in there. So like right now it's, let me do a refresh on this. I'm looking at the depth chart right now.
Okay, I found it.
So like right now they've got Mafi behind Burford. Caleb Rogers is behind JPJ. So it's going to be Caleb Rogers and Trey Zoom too. I wouldn't mind seeing some more Trey Zoom out there early too. Let him get some time out there instead of Glaze at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still have JPJ listed as the starter on the right side. And that's as of 2 days ago. So they haven't updated it recently.
My mom says, don't forget to subscribe, Kay. My mama said.
Yes. Yes. Make sure everybody gets over to the cage match and subscribe if you have it. It's pinned at the top of my chat. Football shot.
And I want to see Mauro Mendoza build off of what he did last week and build off and then I guess correct whatever happened over the joint practices, come back out there and kind of build more confidence being out there, because I want him to go from the nerd, the little goofy kid that you make fun of, that one dude in charge of the chess debate, the chess club and the debate club, and I want him to be more like this.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! Some people dream of success while you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get...
You're muted.
That's what I want my quarterback to be. I had that border there because that's what Max Crosby was going to leave. I had the old video, but I want to play that because that's what I want my quarterback to be. Do it!
Is that who's going to play Mitchell Rentz in the movie based on Chat Sports? Is that who's playing Mitchell Rentz? Kind of what it reminded me of there for a minute. With the bang, with the screaming and yelling. That's Mitchell Rentz's stunt double.
If he uses the bong that was used in Ted for a beer bong, if he uses the bong in Ted for a beer bong, then it could be. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the blue penis looking thing that he drinks out of. Thanks, Damon, with the 10 jewels. With the happy poop.
I want I just want to see this. I want to see the defense, especially like the DBs, at least they got the rust off and everything. Put solar on his helmet. I want to see the DBs look, like, okay, you got you got the rust off of you. Now go out there, the rust dust, you got the rust dusted off of you. Go out there and show a little bit more, like, okay, now we're going on live bullets. All right, let me put my speed up more now, So I just want to see improvement. I want to see the offense look more in control outside of Cousins, because Cousins might not even play in this one. I feel like this one, whoever looked good in practice, this joint practices probably won't play in this one. This is more so for the hopefuls and everything. And then I want to see this guy right here show impact also. This guy right here, because it's Team Ramrod all day. Say it. Team Ramrod.
Team Ramrod.
No. Yeah, so I just want to see that, like, and just be more competitive. And because I know there's folks out there that believe after one preseason game that we got the wrong coach and the wrong this and the wrong that. And I saw the post.
Oh, they're already talking about some players. Some fans were already saying fire Robbie Leonard. It's like, really? One preseason game? Come on.
Fire the whole team.
Yeah, Max wasn't even out there. So would that have made
running back?
Maybe. Who knows? Yeah. Good Lord.
Yeah, at least wait till like the first quarter of that regular season and then see.
How about wait till the end of the season? Let's get a whole year out of these guys and really see. Again, I could go on for an hour saying this, so I'm just going to drop it. I'm not even going to bother.
Oh yeah, of course. I just want to see. I want to see Mendoza build off of last game, and I want to see the defense show a little bit more like improvement than last game. Now they got that one game under their belt, and so that's what I want to see, and that's all I got. That's the end of the show because I got no more clips.
Okay, bye.
And we're hitting You don't show your poker hand in preseason. That is the correct.
And that's why anybody correct. Robbie Leonard to be fired is stupid. You want him to come out and show everything that we're going to run and run stunts and everything that Leo and them saw in practice, where they're moving Max all over the field and Quay Walker's moving all over the place. They're not going to do that now. Especially against Arizona, we got to play them at the end of the season. Some fans are dumb. I'm sorry.
And I just want to see this defense look better because this defense that we're going to see, a lot of them could be our depth, and that's what we're trying to see is do we have depth behind the starting linebackers, and if you can see like Eichenberg, and the other Berg, Lindenberg, Eisenberg. What's that blimp that crashed a long time ago?
The
Hindenburg. Okay. So Lindenberg and Hindenburg and Eisenberg and all them Bergs play well back there. And they show that, okay, we might have some depth back there, our two drafted linebackers. Then I feel a little more comfortable. So that's what I want to see. I want to see that the defense showing a little more, making more stops.
The other night too. That rookie Sloan, he had a good one too.
And Goldberg.
Weisberg.
Goldberg wearing the number X. Wearing the number X. Learning things. And that's the thing, like this, like I'm okay with allowing this to be a throwaway season. Our coach is very smart.
I'm just here for the ride this year. Play it out it is. Fans that get upset that we don't go to the playoffs, it's like you expect us to go to the playoffs, not me. The team didn't either, so don't put the dismay on the team for not doing what you thought they were going to do when you knew damn well they weren't gonna.
17-0, baby.
So stop that. That's the other thing that just drives me nuts.
17-0. Were failed football players. That's why they went into wrestling. Oh yeah. Brock Lesnar. That was Minnesota.
Yeah. To be fair, Brock was a wrestler already. Then tried with the NFL and it didn't work. Goldberg was a football player first. So was Draws.
And Dwayne.
Yeah, he was mostly Canadian though. He didn't really make it in the NFL. Well, your guy. Your persona, actually, was baseball.
Yeah, catcher. Oh yeah, I took a baseball bat and I just smacked the gun in the back of his head. Oh yeah.
How's your Jeep doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
huh?
How's your Jeep? Oh, sore subject.
Oh yeah. It's parked by a tree.
You mean it's into the tree?
I know. Oh yeah, I remember that. I got nothing else. So yeah, tomorrow night, Raiders, Texans. We'll see how they go. And cheers to Asylum, who's somewhere out there making sure that the Cage Match universe is safe with his
one Budweiser at a time.
Not stirred. Man, I wish this drink was Coors. Was that Silver Bullet, right? Coors. One silver bullet at a time. Oh, I can't use that. This bud's for you. All right, everybody, that's our show. I want to thank Jeff again for coming on and filling in.
Been fun.
And I appreciate you carrying the green screen legacy of Asylum.
I couldn't take it anymore. I had to turn it off.
Disappearing into the digital. And that belt will soon come home. It's just being held hostage. I felt like Mel Gibson right now. Bring back my son. So one day I'll bring it. I'll have it back. That's our show. Jeff, any last words? Any last words?
Just stay safe, go Raiders. I'll be on live tomorrow night for the game. So
yes. Ron Simmons was a beast of Miami. Rowan Sapp took it. Yeah, that's true. That Miami particularly defense was a nightmare. Oh yeah, they had a whole bunch of Hall of Famers in there too. Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Ron Simmons. Yeah, so yeah. I watched Young Rock. He was on the team, but he wasn't on the team. Like, he was there. Not like, is Young Rock a documentary? I think it is. All right.
You mean the TV show? Kind of is.
Yeah.
I watched it too. I loved it. I thought it was funny as shit.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched most of my.
The guy that had playing Savage Macho Man was all. It was so funny. I was like, doesn't even look like him. Talks like him though.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, come on. I know other guys that could have played a better Savage though.
Or even the guy who played Harvey Whippleman.
It's just I don't know. Well, the synergy of this show was very good, and we're gonna come back next week, and we're gonna try it again after the Raiders play the Texans, and then talk about the Niner game, preseason game, the final one, and who
Niner game
do we feel like is going to make it, and who's going to bust her bubble. All right. With that said, I want to thank everybody for watching, all the comments, all the interaction, all the time. And thank you, Jeff, for coming on and filling in for Asylum. Yes. And don't get too comfortable with that belt, okay? Because I will win that belt this year. We end every show.
Bet Anna wins it this year. If I don't win it, Anna's going to win it.
Anna was tough last year. She just dealt with a lot of injuries, okay?
Down the line,
JPJs.
She was doing all right.
Yes. Well, you know what? Last year, I was just more happy that.
Here we go with the excuses.
No. Actually, this is a good excuse, okay? I'm just glad that I have two Niner fans that's in the league, and they were almost close to facing each other. You beat one, I beat one, and we ended up facing. So as long as it didn't go to a Niner
them two together in the Super Bowl.
I know. I'll be like, this is a disgrace. This is it. I'm gonna cancel this whole game right now. Okay,
just kill it. Just kill the site.
I'm gonna shut off the lights. I'm gonna shut off the lights like a hardball ball. All right. we end every show like we always do. Macho Man Sandwich promos are the best. Yes, it was. I'm just kind of going through all these. If you smell what the Raiders are cooking, then you should tell everyone to shut their mouth and know they're damn roll. Oh yeah, dig it. All right, we end every show like we always do with a message from my coach, Coach Wallace, from back in the day, aka Raider Milt. We'll keep his memory alive on the show. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we will see you on the next one on next Wednesday as we talk about the game tomorrow night and the game following up against the 49ers. Okay, yeah. I can't stand those guys either. Oh, yeah. Dig it.
All you other NFL teams, your tailgates are weak. Your teams are weak. We might be down right now, but it doesn't take away the history. And all you Raiders out there need to know your fucking history of who the fuck you playing for and where the fuck you're playing. Damn it. Oh, and by the way, I won my last cage fight. Again, I'm still undefeated. And you NFL motherfuckers out there that you think you want some, come on and get some anytime.